You're watching CNN. My name is Becky.
And my name is Hannah. Tonight we have a special segment covering the Cold War.
Here's Chris, live from the Berlin Wall.
Hello, Chris Mariotti reporting from the scene during the height of the Cold War amidst the 1960s as tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union are at new heights. Suspicion against the United States and the Soviet Union were at the greatest right now since World War II. Currently, the United States is assisting the west side of the Berlin Wall, and the east side is being controlled by the Communist Soviet Union. This wall separates both societies from contact with each other, and support for the malnourished East is being supplied by the United States through airlifts, which bring supplies and food across the wall. Both Truman and the United States President and Stalin, the Soviet Union dictator, have different post-war visions. The democratic Truman wished to extend the election of leaders to the countries crushed by the war. However, Stalin wished to further grow the influence of communism in Poland and Eastern European countries. The Cold War was not a war with guns, but it was a battle with large nuclear threats and political fights, which incorporated their frightened citizens, scaring them to death. Citizens in the U.S. have been involved in drills to protect themselves and have shelter-in-place drills in case of a nuclear attack. The buildup of nuclear warheads left both countries in fear of nuclear fallout. Both the United States and the Soviet Union wished to extend their way of governing, either democratic or in the form of communism, further than the other. Two places of examples are the Vietnam War and the Korean War, where the northern communist regimes are being defended by communist-backed governments, and the southern democratic areas are being supported by the United States. And this is what the Berlin Wall looks like.
Thank you, Chris.
And now I'm going to tell you about the protests that took place today in Washington. There's been breaking news of riots and protests in Washington, D.C. Today, 200,000 Americans gathered and took part in a huge march ending in Washington. At the end of the march, a bunch of people gathered to perform and promote peace. Some of these musicians were Bob Dylan and Charlton Heston. Also, during this crazy celebration, Martin Luther King Jr. gave a speech about having a dream. MLK's speech is about freedom for all and is being claimed as one of the biggest speeches. It covers equality and civil rights for African Americans. The line that stood out to us all was when MLK said he wanted to cash a check for the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are also awed by MLK's speech and inspired by his dream. August 28, 1963 will be a day to remember.
And now here's Clint, live from Washington.
Good morning, guys. It's Clinton coming at you live from Washington, D.C. Now, despite the tragic event of President Kennedy's assassination in November of 1963, his proposal to end segregation continues on. As I stand here on this monumental day, President Lyndon Johnson is signing the Civil Rights Act of 1964 as we speak, an act which will not only be outlawing segregation in business, but putting a stop to segregation in all of the United States of America. This day, July 2nd, 1964, is a monumental day for all the minorities everywhere in America, and will forever be remembered as one of the greatest days in history. Why don't we go ask this little kid how he feels about this act? Hey,
Oh, well, hello there.
how you doing today?
Not too bad. How about you?
How do you feel about this act being signed today?
Oh, I think it's great. Everyone, no matter what gender or race, has an equal opportunity on a lot of things now.
Thanks so much.
Hey, no problem.
And back to you.
Thanks so much, Clint.
Now I'm going to tell you about the breaking news of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination.
Go.
It is April 4th, 1968, and I'm here today inside the Lauren Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. It has just been announced that MLK was assassinated. Police say that he was shot with a Remington 760 Game Master by a man named James Earl Ray. Moments after the attack, he was rushed to St. Joseph's Hospital, but was pronounced dead at 7:04 this evening. The killer is still on the loose, so if you know any information, please contact this police station immediately. Our country will mourn Martin Luther King's death. For those who don't know, he pushed for equal rights for everyone. He believed in nonviolence and peaceful protests. May his legacy and movement live on forever, even after his death.
That is such such a tragedy who will forever be remembered. However, on a more positive note, I'm here to inform you about the major shifts in entertainment throughout the 1960s. Recently, television has overcome journalism, and in fact, television supposedly cost Nixon the election against Kennedy. Nixon and Kennedy's debate was the first televised presidential debate. Television aided the election process because it gave an opportunity for everyone to see both presidents and their manners. At the debate, Kennedy looked strong and healthy while Nixon was sick at the time and did not get fixed up for the debate like Kennedy. This made everyone watching dislike Nixon due to his fragile and sick look. Another reason that television trumps journalism is the amount of kids' shows that have come out. One of these shows, Leave It to Beaver, aired in 1957 and is related to children's awkward and embarrassing moments, all throughout the United States. Overall, television has gotten big and it just keeps getting bigger. And now here's Chris on LBJ's president.
Lyndon B. Johnson is a super idol right now in society, right as he's been elected as the new president of the United States. Despite his previous conservative voting record, he quickly liberalized and sponsored the largest reform agenda since Roosevelt's New Deal. The aftershock of Kennedy's assassination proved trivial for Johnson's presidency in his own right. His first important legislation was the Civil Rights Bill that JFK had promised before his death. The act to ban discrimination based on race and gender. Other acts were the Wilderness Protection Act, which secured 9.1 million acres of land, acres of forest from industrial development. Also, the Voting Rights Act, which banned literacy tests and other methods of discrimination, denying suffrage to African Americans. Furthermore, the Immigration Act ended discriminatory quotas based on ethnic origin. LBJ is reforming the United States at new rates, pushing for the best possible showing for its own citizens and for the face of America towards other countries. These policies were somewhat chasing his original conservative views and were just as domestic, like the war on poverty. However, now they have shifted to focus on international ideas such as the Vietnam War. Now his domestic reform is booming, and we can wait and see how far it will take us into the future. And look at these nice forests. Oh man, look at the trees. Beautiful.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Now I'm going to tell you about a new protest that's happening in California. I'm coming to you today live from a farm in California where the community is protesting and changing American history. Here the farmers are boycotting grapes to promote their own fair pay and shorter working, as well as shorter working hours. The movement is said to be a result of the United Farm Workers, or the UFW. This association was started by a man with the name of Cesar Chavez and his co-founder Dolores Huerta. This movement was finalized on August 22, 1966, and since then has been promoting workers' rights and fair treatment. Here in California, we see the farmers changing history one grape at a time.
Okay.
And now we have Cesar Chavez and Dolores. Cesar Chavez, what is your goal with the UFW?
I'm just really looking forward to fixing this problem of unequal pay, and for how hard we work, it's not fair the way we're treated, and I feel as if this is a major problem that should be addressed, so thank you.
And now here's Clint with an update from Kent State.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm here to tell you about this tragic event that happened yesterday, May 4th. So, yesterday started out as a normal day of peaceful protesting against sending troops to Cambodia and Vietnam in general, when 28 guardsmen decided to open fire on a crowd, killing four students at Kent State University and wounding 9 others. Aside from this tragic event, 500 other colleges have been shut down or disrupted by protests like this one today. Despite the public outcry, the Justice Department has declined to conduct a grand jury investigation. A report by the President Commission on the campus of unrest has acknowledged that the guardsmen's actions were unnecessary, unwarranted, and inexcusable. Events like this have played a major role in projecting the major theme of counterculture and protest in this day and age, which seems to be very popular these days. That was it. On a more positive note, ping pong has become a new trend these days in the counterculture of this generation.
Oh, let's go.
Scottsdale.
Thanks for tuning in to CNN News.
Catch us tomorrow at 7 p.m.